Hello friends and welcome back to the Dork Side. I'm the Dork in the Road, and today I want to talk a little bit about the gear I used on my first BDR trip on the Washington BDR and kind of debrief a little bit about what I took that I shouldn't and how the whole setup worked. I'm the Dork in the Road and I want to be your internet writing buddy, so please consider subscribing. These are the 3 bags I took with me on my Washington BDR adventure. As you can see, there's a lot of gear here. This is my 48-liter Tillamook dry bag from Giant Loop, and these are my 2 45, 50-ish liter round the world panniers. And the other thing I had on the bike was my Diablo Tank Bag. That is a 6-liter tank bag, but all I had in there was stuff I was charging, not really camping gear, so I'm not really going to include it. I want to kind of go through what's in each bag and then sort of sort it into piles of stuff that I used and stuff that I didn't use, and let's talk a little bit about what I would take again and what I would definitely leave behind again. And I definitely have too much stuff. Many of you commented that that's a lot of stuff, that's going to be really heavy, and you weren't wrong. I don't think it impaired me to the degree that some of you indicated that it would, but I do want to maybe work on lightening up my setup a little bit next time. But before I do all of that, I want to do something that a bunch of you asked for and actually weigh each individual bag. Tillamook bag goes on top. It's got all my lightest weight, bulkiest stuff like my tent, sleeping bag, and all that in it. So that weighs, okay, I'm going to put it over here. I guess you're just going to have to read it upside down. Put the bag on. All right, I've got 17.2 pounds on that bag. This is the round the world bag that was on the left of the bike. This one has my chair, my table, my axe, my saw, all of that stuff in it. This is bag included, obviously. 31.3 pounds on that side. And this is the right side round the world. Oh, that's actually a lot lighter. That weighs 26.8 pounds. So roughly 60 pounds in the panniers and another 18 up top. So let's just call it 80 pounds, okay? 80 pounds of gear on this trip. That's a lot, but not as much as some of you were indicating, but it is a lot. Now I just want to go through each bag and just pull out what's in it and divide these into piles of stuff I used and stuff I didn't use. So first up, my Tillamook bag. And on top of my Tillamook bag is my Sea to Summit pack tap, AKA the Pacific Northwest Grain Manta Ray. I did use that quite a bit actually, so I'm just gonna take that off. I used almost everything in this bag. Slippers. I used those anytime I was not on the motorcycle because boots are uncomfortable to wear around camp all day. These are my pants that I soaked in permethrin before I left. They are zip-off shorts, which is awesome. I use those a lot. My tent, yeah, I used that. Inflator for my air mattress, got used a lot. Pillow, Nemo pillow, use that every day. My other pillow, my Arrows pillow, also use that every night. My big Agnes Insulated Q-Core Deluxe air mattress. This thing is massive, but yes, I did use it every night. I do have a smaller one I could have taken, but I had the room and they weigh the same, so I brought this one and was really happy about it. That is my Enlightened Equipment quilt. That's what I was using as a sleeping bag. Obviously, I use that every night. But wait, there's more. My Get Out Gear down blanket that turns into a poncho. I did not use that because it was 100 freaking degrees. Tarp, extra tarp I took just in case, didn't use it. That's it for this bag. Yeah, empty. Okay, next bag. That is the pannier that was on the left side. In the back here, I had all my camera gear in this pouch I'll show you. It's got all my camera batteries and stuff. I use that every day. So I don't usually include my filming gear because it's not really helpful to people that are just trying to go camping, but this was in there. Had another battery pack too, but I ended up losing it on section 5. So that was cool. In the front pouch, I had an extra water bottle that we picked up one of the days and my bear spray, so it was handy-ish. Did not use my bear spray, but obviously that's a good thing, but I'll put it in the did not use pile. This is my Scorpion XO. This is a mid-layer windbreaker and a fleece. And I actually did use this. I was thinking for a while it was a bust and I shouldn't have brought it, but I ended up using it up on Bethel Ridge because it was chilly at night and in the morning, so did wear that. Tusk compact camp chair, used it every day. My little aluminum table, I used this every day we weren't in a campground, so I used it on 2 nights. Silky Gomboy, did not use. What else is in here? Oh, all my tools are in here too. This is my Tusk jump starter kit / USB charger. Did not use it. My axe, did not use it. But Tim did to chop up wood the night we had a fire. So I'm putting it in the used pile. This is my Baja No Pinch and my tool kit. Didn't use it. This is the bag I keep all my extra straps in. Didn't use it. This is my Tusk tire repair kit. Didn't use it. That little Otzi fire pit stove I brought to try out if I had a chance to, and I did not have a chance to, so didn't use it. My flask was full, is now empty. Obviously I used it. That's it for that bag. Right side pannier. So in the front pouch here, I just keep garbage bags, so I have them handy. And I throw garbage in there when we're out on the trail. I just dump it when we get to a gas station or something with a garbage can. This back, on the back, I had first aid kit. Actually did use it. Somebody needed a Band-Aid at one point and I took some ibuprofen out of this, so I used it. My Thermacell rechargeable mosquito repeller. This thing was invaluable up on Bethel Ridge, so 100% used it. My DEET spray, I used it, but it ruined my freaking seat concept seat, so I'm not happy about it. And then top pouch, this is my water purifier, my Life Straw squeeze filter, right? Didn't use it. Toiletries bag, contact solution, deodorant, toothbrush, used it. Otherwise, I'd be blind and still in the woods somewhere. Towel. I thought this was a total luxury. I wasn't gonna need it, but I actually ended up being able to take a shower a couple times, so this was very useful. Used it. This is my plate, my X-Pot. There's a mug in here, and my silverware. The only thing in here I use is the silverware, so I'm gonna put it in the didn't use it pile. GSI Outdoors cooking kit. I didn't use it, but Tim did. I loaned him the spatula, so used it pile. Humidor, now empty, used it. This is my Possibles pouch. I made a video on everything that's in this. Extra toilet paper, coffee cup, knife, headlamp, all that stuff is in here, and I definitely used it. Okay, and then we're gonna get a little meta, but I've got two, oh, that was bad. 2 dry bags inside my bag, my big bag. There's my headlamp, I used that. This is food and stuff. So I did use my jet boil, did use my coffee. I didn't use the dehydrated meal or the extra snacks or the extra fuel I brought. I'm gonna put it in the used it pile because I used the jet boil. And then this is clothes. And I will say I didn't use all these clothes. I brought basically 2 full changes of clothes, and I probably could have gotten away with 1, maybe an extra pair of socks and underwear just to be safe. So I have 80 pounds of gear here. I'm gonna put everything from the didn't use pile on the table, and let's talk about what I would take on the next trip or what I wouldn't. So this is everything I took but did not use one time. So what would I take again? I would take the tools unequivocally. Just because I didn't use them doesn't mean they wouldn't have been useful had I needed them. Same with the battery pack, jump starter, and the tire repair kit. Those I will absolutely take again. We did split the tools up a little bit, so I didn't have a full, like a tube or anything, because some of the other guys did, but I would definitely take tools on my next trip. So that all will go again. Silky Gomboy, I didn't use it for firewood processing, but this is an invaluable tool, say if there's a tree across the road, you need to get around, over, or through. So I would absolutely take this again with the added bonus that I can use it for processing firewood. This is a great saw. My extra straps, I don't know if I needed the whole bag, but having some extra straps in case a strap on a bag breaks, you gotta hold a hand guard on, you wanna go pick up something from the store and bring it back to camp is super invaluable, so I would take straps again. Bear spray, really happy I didn't use it, but I will take that every time. Water purifier, just got lucky that I never had to purify any water because we kept finding gas stations and stuff along the way, or they had water at the campgrounds we stayed in, but if they hadn't, I could use this from a stream or a lake or whatever to refill my hydration pack, cooking water, all that. So I'd absolutely take this again. Did I need my Get Out Gear down puffy blanket? No, it was not cold enough to need this. I was a little paranoid because my last few trips have been cold, but in the summer, I probably could have gotten away with just my mid layer and my sleeping bag, and if it had been extra cold, I could have just thrown my riding jacket on over me. So no, I probably would not take this with me next time, at least on a summer trip. In the winter, it's absolutely worth it. It's very light and compacts down super small, but I didn't need it on this trip. The tarp, I didn't end up needing it. I probably don't need a tarp because I have the rainfly on my tent. This would have been really handy when Mike went down and broke his leg, but we had a tent fly or a tarp out that we just used, so could use my tent fly for that if I needed it. So this is iffy, I probably wouldn't take it again. And the biggest place I screwed up on this trip was cooking. This Otzi stove is neat and I really want to use it, but I did not need it on this trip. And it's a little heavy. It's a few pounds, 3 or 4 pounds, so that I probably could have left behind, but I plan on using on future trips. If I planned my food out a little bit better, because like I thought, what if I want to grab a steak, but I didn't ever want to. But if I only had this, I probably would have. So what I messed up on was not with any individual piece here, but bringing it all was the mistake. So I didn't need this and my jet boil and this whole kit, which has a pot, a plate, a bowl, silverware, and all that, because I didn't use either one. I just ate at gas stations and I never really cooked in camp at all. And if I had to cook in camp, if it had come down to it, I had my dehydrated meals. So I would probably leave these 2 things behind or plan my cooking better for the next trip. Now let's check out what I did use and talk about if there's anything there that I would leave behind next time. Some of this stuff is really obvious. So would I use the tent again? Yeah. Sleeping pad, yes. Quilt, love this quilt, unequivocally. Pillow, yep. 2 pillows, 100% of the time. This inflator is worth its weight in gold as far as I'm concerned, because it can also be used to get a fire going. Absolutely would take again. This is my possibles pouch. While I didn't use every single item in it, I made a video on everything that is in here. 100% would take that again. A lot of people question the humidor, but I don't know any other way to keep cigars from getting smashed. This is a little bulkier than it needs to be, so while I might take a different one, I would unequivocally take this again. Campfire entertainment would take again. First aid kit, the goal is to not use the first aid kit. We did, but I would take that again whether I used it or not. This thing was handy, easy to recharge, and it worked well for repelling mosquitoes. So yeah, if I have the space, I would take that again. This DEET spray, I would take one that isn't leaking, but I would take it again. This camp cooking kit, it's got a spatula and stuff in it. I would not take this again because I didn't need it. Tim did use it, but again, that would be part of my figuring out what I want to do for cooking and just sticking to it. Next time I do a BDR, I'm gonna go lighter and just plan on eating along the way and take some dehydrated meals for the days that that's not possible. Axe. If I had just the saw or just the axe, I'd probably keep the saw. It's easier to process firewood with. This is one of the things I actually thought about taking out, but I just had the room, so I threw it in. So I probably would take it again, but if I was going ultralight, I wouldn't. Two of the most controversial items I took were this aluminum table and that chair. I would take both again. When you're dispersed camping, I don't like to make coffee and cook on the ground, so the table is useful for that, and I also don't want to sit on the ground. So if there's room or a way for me to take these two things, I'm going to. So this is all the clothes I brought with me, and I definitely can cut down on some space here. But a pair of camp shoes like these slippers I think is useful and invaluable. Some people can rock sandals. I don't really like them. So when it's dry, these I like a lot because they are compact and work well. I probably didn't need 2 spare neck gaiters, but this one I sprayed with permethrin, so this was my bug repeller for evening time, morning time when I'm not sweating, because you don't want to sweat when you got permethrin. And this was just my spare to use in case something happened to the one I was using. So I don't know, I would maybe only take the one and suffer without it if I didn't have it. I did bring too many shirts. So this is a long sleeve tech tee, this is an extra t-shirt, and this is an extra t-shirt. Now, part of this is Charles's fault because he gave me a shirt while we were out there. Now, I feel actually pretty good. So the one t-shirt change and the long sleeve, I would probably go with that again. I'd probably do that again. The long sleeve protects you from bugs and sun, depending on where you're camping, so that's nice to have. But you also want another shirt to change into in case something happens to the one you're wearing on a bike. I brought 2 extra pairs. No, I brought 3 extra pairs of socks. That's overkill. I'd probably only do 2 pairs. I brought a pair of shorts and this pair of pants that turns into shorts. Probably could get away with just the pants and 2 pairs of underwear. I feel okay about 2 pairs of underwear. It just turns into a lot of stuff, but for a week, it's nice to have. This towel was very useful. Glad I had it, but that is something I would consider leaving out or getting a smaller one. Moto Camp Nerd has a great one. And then this fleece slash hoodie slash mid layer sure was nice on the evenings I needed it, but I probably didn't have to have it because I could have put my riding jacket on. This is a lot. I had it in that one little tiny bag. Like, it was all in here except for the hoodie, but still, that's a lot of clothes. The only thing left is the contents of my food bag. I would take all that again. I would take all this with me because if I'd had to eat on the trail, would have been nice to have these 2. That's a good trailside snack. That's a good trailside snack, and it's just good to have emergency stuff in case you get stuck in the woods. So all of that would go with me again. I use my jet boil for coffee and all that, so I feel good about this setup. So that's it for the gear for my first BDR trip. I think I learned a lot. I think I would do things a little bit differently, particularly in the area of cooking. I think I was way overkill on cooking options. So if you have thoughts or questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. If you are planning a BDR and kind of organizing your stuff, what do you take? What are your bare minimum essentials for a BDR? What's the stuff that goes with you on every trip, even if it's multiple days camping off the bike? I had a great time on my BDR. I hope you'll check out the whole BDR playlist, all 5 days. Each has their own video and some of the prep stuff I did too. But for now, and as always, I just want to say thank you very much for watching, and please do not forget to be excellent to each other. Thank you.